to week 11 of The Mole Sisters with Elise and
Kayla. We are two sisters born with moles on our faces, and each week we discuss women in art and music history.
Yup. This week we are discussing French painter Élisabeth Louise Vigée Le Brun.
Ooh, that was better than last week. Did you look up the pronunciation?
I looked up the pronunciation last week. I just said it faster this time.
Okay, well, your pronunciation was much better. Brava. I'm applauding you, truly.
Oh.
I'm not making fun
It
of you.
feels backhanded, but whatever.
Well, last week's was silly, but this week's was good.
Okay. Whatever. Anyway. Yes, so she was a French painter. And she specialized in portrait painting. And this is a really interesting lady. I'm excited to talk about her. There's a lot of juicy details about her life. So she was born April 16th, 1755 in Paris. Her parents were Jean and Louis Vigée was her father. Jean was her... I think that's how you pronounce it. That's her mother. Her mother was a hairdresser, and she has a peasant background. And her father was a portraitist and pastelist. So she kind of...
Did he not have a peasant background?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They really emphasized that her mother was a peasant.
She was destitute.
Yeah.
Homegirl had 2 pennies to her name, if that.
Yep. Yeah. So her father was an artist. He was a member of the Académie de Saint-Luc. And that's where she got her introduction in art from her father. Since she was a little wee lass, she painted everywhere she went. She would paint on her books, on walls, anywhere that she could. And I thought this was so sweet. There's a quote from her father that after he recognized her talent for art and her passion for it, he said, "You will be a painter, my child, if there ever was one." So it's so cute.
Supportive.
Yeah.
Just up right there. How sweet.
So
And there weren't like many successful female artists in that time. So like, you know, I mean, I'm sure successful in their own right, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he started to give her lessons himself until at age 5, she entered a convent, which crazy. Yeah.
She became a nun. She became a fucking nun at 5 years old.
Could you imagine like a little 5-year-old girl wearing a nun outfit, like the robes and stuff?
They for sure would not be wearing those yet. But
I know, but it would be so cute.
Also, I guess like Hildegard of Bingen was, she was given to a church at a young age, but I don't know about 5.
Yeah.
I don't remember. That was so long ago, but damn.
Anyway, yeah. But she was only there for 6 years.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what led to her leaving, but yeah, she was only there for 6
Maybe she was like Maria in Sound of Music.
Oh, yeah. How do you solve a problem? You know, I think when we have moments like that where we just connect on a different level, that was even in the same key. I think it's our moles, you know?
You know what? You're right. I can feel it tingling.
I think mine's glowing right now, actually.
Oh my god. That was incredible.
Okay.
I wish people could have seen that. You know, the note, like, you know, CJ, shout out to CJ who listens to us. Just the way we both frantically sat forward to sing this song. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. All right. So, back to Élisabeth.
Yes.
So, after she left the convent, she worked as an assistant to one of her father's friends, who was also an artist, to learn more about painting. Unfortunately, her father died when she was around 12 from infections after several surgical operations. I don't exactly know what he had, but yeah.
That could be literally anything.
Yep. Yeah, so he died when she was pretty young. A year later, after he died, her mother remarried a wealthy jeweler, and he had a reputation for not being a nice guy. I don't know exactly what he did, but Elizabeth really did not like him. She quoted about her stepfather, because she kept many journals. That's why we have so much information about her. But one of her journals, she said, "I hated this man, even more so since he made use of my father's personal possessions. He wore his clothes just as they were, without altering them to fit his figure." So, yeah, she didn't like him.
Damn. Yeah, she said, "Fuck you and your fat ass."
Yeah.
No, no, that sucks. Ugh, I can't imagine. But, low key, I should start keeping a journal because I want to go down in history as a hater.
Yeah. Although, I think my thoughts would be a little too intense.
I'd be like, you know what? We're going to leave that one to rest.
Yeah. Every journal I've ever had, which has not been many, I threw away because I did not want anyone to ever read that.
Damn, girl. Fuck.
I mean,
Wow.
it was like in middle school, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
I hate this bitch. She is fugly, stuff like that.
That was your burn book?
Yeah, that was my burn book.
Wow. I didn't really do that very often. I feel like I didn't write it out.
You probably should have. That might have helped.
Yeah, probably should have.
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway, hindsight's 2020. Maybe I should start writing out my big feelings after work.
you should. Yeah.
Like, fuck them kids. Stop having them. Kidding. I'm kidding. Ha 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 ha. But
Yeah.
don't stop having kids because we definitely could use more in this earth. Anyway.
Okay.
Anyway.
Let's get back to Elizabeth. So, after her mother remarried to that man,
Ugly whore.
yeah, they moved to Rue Saint Honore, which was close to the royal palace. And her mother tried to raise her spirits about her father's death because she took it very hard, as you could imagine, by taking her to art museum. And there she was inspired by other artists like Rembrandt, Van Dyck, and Rubens.
Van Dyck?
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but I probably should.
I'm thinking of Dick Van Dyke.
Oh, I was thinking that too when I first read it, but that's obviously not.
It couldn't be him. I mean, he does look like he could be that old now, but...
Yeah, he does.
But, anyway.
Yeah. So she continued to hone her craft, and by her early teens, she was professionally painting portraits, which is crazy. Early teens.
Yep.
One of her signature aspects of her paintings was that she did not like the fashion at the time, which was contemporary high Rococo fashion. So she would ask whoever was sitting for the paintings to change. And it was usually draping clothes. She would have them wear long scarves or shawls. And that was special to her portraits that she would make.
Yep.
So
her signature.
Yeah. Her studio was seized for her practicing without a license.
Oh my God.
And she applied to the Académie de Saint-Luc, where she became a member, which was crazy as a woman.
Yep.
In that time. And I also think that's so sweet because that's where her father was.
Yeah. Yeah. Dang. But that's so shitty. Some dude that was losing business to her because hers was superior and then they turned her in.
Yep. And I'm sure she couldn't get a license because she was a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Regardless, she saw a rise in popularity and began painting portraits for many notable people, including the Comte de Provence, who was the future King Louis the 18th. So
Hell yeah,
She
brother.
was bringing in the big bucks. Well, I don't know if she's getting
Yeah.
paid that much, but she was getting up there.
Making a name for herself.
Yeah. After her stepfather retired, they moved to the Hotel de Lubert in Paris, where she met Jean-Baptiste Pierre Le Brun, who was a painter and an art dealer. So she was still
Mhm.
living with her family at this time. And she would often visit Jean in his apartment to view his work, and he even asked her to like bring some of his paintings home and copy them to improve her skill, and she thought that
Yep.
was like one of the best ever like teachings that she ever got.
Yep.
So
That's very cool.
yeah, 6 months later he proposed, as you could
I
guess, because
wondered if there was
yeah,
something going on.
his name is LeBaron.
Yeah.
And in her journals, like, she said that she never even contemplated ever getting married. And so she was like deciding if she was gonna refuse or say yes. But her mother kind of urged her to, and she also just wanted to
Yep.
get away from her stepfather. So she said yes. Um,
She was like, "You know what? This will do nothing but good things for me right now, so if
yeah.
it serves me, I
Mm-hmm.
suppose."
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So they got married. Their wedding was in 1776, and she was 20 years old. The ceremony was extremely private. Like, nobody even knew that she was really getting married,
Damn.
except for like her family, because he was already engaged to another
Ah!
woman, but only in an attempt to secure like a lucrative art deal with a Dutch art dealer. So like it had nothing to do with anything. But
Damn.
yeah,
He played that girl.
he did.
Played her like a fiddle.
Yeah.
Damn.
But after she got married, it was like within 2 weeks of her getting married, and nobody knew that she was married. People would come up to her and like warn her against marrying him or getting involved with him because he had reputation of being like a womanizer and a spendthrift. And I didn't know what spendthrift was, so I looked this up in case anybody doesn't know. That's basically like
I do not.
very reckless with money and spending
Okay, I could have
outrageously.
guessed that. Yeah.
So, his reputations were true as well. The rumors surrounding him, and
Great.
she did regret marrying him, but also she's quoted to have saying that regardless of all of this, she still found him agreeable and an obliging man with a sweet nature. So,
An obliging man.
yeah. So he wasn't
If
what
I'm ever called an obliging person, shoot me in the head.
okay. I'll make note of that.
If Ingrid ever goes, yeah, she's obliging. Yeah, no.
Okay.
Goodbye.
But for a man, I don't know. There's not many compliments you could give to men at that time, or even now. So,
That's true.
yeah.
That's very true.
But also, within the same year of her getting married, she became the official painter to the queen. So she was
Oh,
a very
okay, girl.
successful painter.
Yep.
Yes. So, going back to her husband, though, she later in her memoirs mentions and condemns his gambling and adulterous habits, and that he actually left her in a financially critical position, especially, which I'll go farther in, like moments where she really needed money and he was not there to support her. She even like demanded a refund of her dowry because of how much money he was wasting.
Shit.
Yeah. He pressed her to become a tutor for more money for them, and she did it, but she hated it because her pupils, which were often older than her, did not respect her. And I can imagine that would be so frustrating, and also it's because she's a woman.
Yeah.
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 So their marriage was not that filled with happy moments.
Well, it wasn't really love.
No. But 2 years after being married, she gave birth to her daughter, who she called Julie, and she loved her daughter very much.
Sweet.
She did have a miscarriage, I think. I later on, but she never had any other children. So as she progressed in her painting career, she had some pretty scandalous artworks, which they were not scandalous, but people were so, yeah. So one of them included like a painting where she was accused of having an affair with the man who was sitting for it because he paid her a lot for it.
Hello?
Yeah. Not because it was a good painting, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's another one where she painted herself with her daughter, and she painted herself with like a smile. You could see her teeth, and everyone called her a narcissist.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
This poor woman
Yeah.
is trying to exist.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Anyway.
for real. She should have painted herself with her titty out.
She should have. Yeah. Yeah. But even with all these scandals with quotation marks, she was hired as the portraitist for Marie Antoinette. So she was making it up there. Also, Marie Antoinette, as many of you probably know, she did not have a great reputation. And she was extremely nervous about how she will be perceived in any paintings of her. But Elizabeth's work also had, like, almost always had, like, really good reviews. So they had a close bond together.
Dang.
Because she was able to bring back a little bit of
humanity.
Yeah. To her.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder how she felt during the, when everything went to shit.
Oh, well, I'm talking about that next.
I'm so excited.
This is like, she had a wild life. Crazy. If you didn't think it was interesting now, it's going to get a whole lot more interesting. So, because of her association with Marie Antoinette, she got harassed relentlessly during the French Revolution, and her health deteriorated because of the stress. And during that time, she had to live with a friend to recover.
Dang. Okay.
Because she was not doing good. When she did recover enough, she bought passports for herself and her daughter and their governess so that they could leave France because of how bad it was getting.
Yep.
When she tried to leave, though, some National Guards ordered her that she could not leave or she would face extreme punishment. Fortunately, there were a couple guards that had sympathy for her and helped her to escape. And it was an adventure for her. It took a very long time. She had to dress in rags so she wouldn't be recognized. But she did finally escape. Her husband stayed in Paris and told everyone that she went to Italy to improve herself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They got divorced, though. He sought out the divorce because if they would have stayed together, everything that he had would have been confiscated by the revolutionary authorities. So they got a divorce so that he could maintain his life.
He probably ended up in squalor, being
he was actually
thrift.
Oh no, he maintained it. Probably because he was an art dealer. He probably made tons of money.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they got divorced. But during her time, she did travel to Italy and she went all around. She never stayed in the same place for too long. And she got to explore great works, including like the Medici Gallery and the Basilica, and just
very cool.
Saw it all. She settled in Rome for 3 years and she began to paint again and received a commission for her portraits. So she found work again, found her passion again. So there she also found other exiled French aristocracy in Rome and made a name for herself amongst them and also the Italian aristocracy. She was building up her reputation there. She had a love for travel. Throughout her life, she traveled so many places.
Oh yeah, sister.
So during this time, she traveled a lot around Europe and her career just boomed. She was being asked to paint portraits for like from the Pope and from like kings and
Damn.
queens. She was
Damn.
making it in the world.
Yeah.
And she met a lot of other artists. One of them, I didn't get their name. I forgot to write it down. But he was a wax sculpturist, and he would use real corpses and cut them open to get
Ooh.
like realism in his work. And he like showed it to her. Like he showed like cutting out intestines. And in letters back to him, she was like extremely scarred from that for a very long time. But yeah.
Yeah.
She was still traveling though, including Austria, Russia. She went everywhere. Also because she couldn't go back home. In 1802 though, she was finally able to return to France. Her ex-husband had removed her name from the list of counter-revolutionary immigrants, so they allowed her back in, and she was given a home, which was, I think, it was a very nice home, and her reputation was restored like amongst the elite. So she was still fine and dandy.
That's good. She came back to open arms.
Yeah. But because of what happened prior to her leaving France the last time, she was pretty traumatized being in Paris again, and she decided to move to a secluded house and restore her mental health surrounding it. And yeah, but after that after working on herself, she traveled to England and met her lifelong friend, Madame Adelaide.
Just a friend?
Okay, well, let me say something. So it is debated that she was a lesbian.
Okay.
Not exactly from her relationship with Madame Adelaide. There wasn't a whole lot of information about their friendship, but often in her work, she depicts women in intimate settings, and just the way that she depicts women, people say it has like a queer gaze, and you can see this a lot in her painting titled Juno Borrowing the Belt of Venus. We should look it up, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
That is a gay. They both have their titties out.
Yeah, they
for
do.
one another.
And they're looking lovingly into each other's eyes.
Yes, they are.
Good. But unfortunately, there's no information about if there was a special lady and if it was Madame Adelaide. She doesn't write about.
I'm gonna write some fan fiction.
Oh yes, please do. Yeah, she didn't write anything about it in her journals or in her memoirs. Anything.
So that's so. Probably because she couldn't. She wasn't safe to. But maybe she burned her letters of writing about queer love.
Sort of. Unfortunately. I want to see it.
I do too. I want the tea. Give me the juicy deets.
Yeah.
Did she have bodacious tatas? Did you love her? Like,
yeah.
We want to know. We want to know the tea. What
was
was something they would have said? I felt an igniting in my loins when I gazed upon her. Like, that's what I want to hear, Elizabeth.
Yeah. We need to have a seance right now and summon her.
Yes. Be like, tell me the juicy details. Did you and Lucy get down?
Yeah.
Whatever the girl lady's name. What was her name? Her companion? Sorry, Adelaide, not Lucy. Whatever. To Adelaide. Yes, I know ball.
Anyway, get back to the story.
So sorry.
So she continued to travel all over Europe, including Switzerland, and continued to paint and meet acquaintances. She returned to Paris in, I don't know if it was in 1814, but in 1814, her house was raided by Prussian troops in the final stages of war. They broke in and looted her home in the middle of the night while she was still there.
Those whores.
Yeah.
We're part Prussian.
We are?
We have Prussian royalty on Grandpa's side.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So basically, we're complicit in these crimes. So
Sorry.
now I feel bad. I feel
Uh,
like I need to pay reparations or something,
yeah,
but I have like
yeah.
$3 to
I'm
pay.
sorry
So
about that.
sorry about that, Elizabeth.
I didn't mean to. Oopsie.
Whoopsies, whoopsies.
Yeah. Well, it
Anyway,
was unsafe in her home, so she fled and took
yeah.
refuge in a room above a pumping machine in an aqueduct. She
Oh,
was just
okay.
hiding. And in the war, the fighting intensified, so she took refuge in a cave and
Okay, girl.
injured her
What?
leg in the process.
Oh my Christ. And she has her daughter with her this whole time?
I don't know if her daughter is with her. I have a feeling her daughter was with her ex-husband because it doesn't
Okay,
say anything about it.
or maybe she was all grown up, you know?
Yeah, it could have been.
Just a grown adult that doesn't live in a cave with her mom.
Yeah. This is crazy. I think I need a movie on her life.
Yeah, I know. Like, see, I would offer to make it, but it'd be the lowest budget shit you'd ever
Oh
see.
yeah.
So.
Yeah. Honestly, I think we should make it. It would be kind of iconic, I think.
Us and our closest friends can act out the life story of Elizabeth. Are you going to be Elizabeth?
Yeah, I'll be her. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can be an Elizabeth. Okay.
I'll be your shitty husband.
Okay, I can see that.
Hey,
I'm just
you're
kidding.
supposed to go. No, you're such a good. You can't do that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay, well,
That
fuck
did
you,
not come
bitch.
fluently to me
Yeah. Okay. Well, that just speaks volumes.
about your
Anyway,
character.
rude.
Okay.
Rude.
Anyway, okay. So she left Paris since her home was no longer safe and
Mm.
it was like continuously being looted by
Oh my God.
soldiers, so like she could not return.
Yeah.
And around that time her husband died, her ex-husband, I mean, and within the same year her daughter died of syphilis. So she was not doing well. She traveled
Dang.
to Bordeaux to continue to explore, but that was her last extensive trip in her life. And just near the end of her life, she wasn't having a great time. A lot of people around her passed away.
Yeah.
She had,
That's gotta be so hard.
yeah, she was greatly affected by one of her longtime and close friends who was an artist, and she saw him, she like visited him, and he
Yep.
was like brooding over like criticism he had received
Yeah.
over one of his paintings, and the day after he committed suicide. So
Damn. Okay.
so she stayed in the French countryside near the end of her life while also having a home in Paris. And she
Mhm.
continued to paint and visit with friends. And she eventually died in Paris on March 30th in 1842 at age 86. And she's
Dang.
buried in a cemetery near her old home. And her
Okay.
tombstone reads, "Here at last I rest," in French.
Aw.
And I think that's like sums up her
Very.
life because she traveled
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, she did. Dang. Okay. She was one cool lady.
She was. She
And
was.
very successful in her own right.
She lived life to the fullest.
Indeed. Indeed. She had her titty out for a lady. I'm pretty sure she was gay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Whenever it's like this long since we've been doing research and they have a theory that they are, I'm just gonna assume they are, you know?
Yeah, they probably are.
'Cause
gay.
if you
They
have a
wouldn't say that
little-
unless they were pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, don't say that. Well, I
Cool.
don't have anything else to say about Elizabeth.
Okay. Well, Elizabeth seems like a cool bitch, so
She
okay, sorry.
was.
Cool lady, not a bitch. Anyway, thank you for listening to week 11 of the Mole Sisters. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, or Spotify.
And tune in next week. Michaela will be discussing composer and singer Barbara Streisand. Or Barbara Streisand.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Oh, that also, I don't think we should probably say this was not referenced earlier when I said she also has her titties out. Barbara Strozzi is of like her most famous portraits have her tits out. That's what I was referring to earlier. So I just, all our listeners didn't hear our earlier conversation, so I just had to specify. But
pop them out, let me see them titties.
Let me take a long look at them tig old bitties. Areolas looking nice, nipples looking real pretty. Let me hurt your boobs.
You really know the lyrics.
Drop them out. Let me see them knockers. Let me take a long look at those big rockers.
Should that be our outro music?
Just drop them out.
Shake them about. I actually don't know all the lyrics, but
I don't either.
sounds right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so good.
Bye.
Bye.